Hi, this is Kimball Bullington, and this is the planning part of the define phase in Six Sigma Yellow Belt. And we're not going to actually go through every bit of this presentation, but I want to at least get you started. So we're in define, and one of the sources for ideas for planning is what's referred to as a Gemba walk, where you go out to the same place, the actual place, and find out what is really going on versus what you think is going on or what is supposed to be going on. I use a term called goals for improvement, and the goal is an acronym: get out and look, get out and listen, get out and learn, get out and lead. There's 4 of those. And at this point in the define, the idea stage, you're really looking at the first 2 of those: get out and look and get out and listen. There's just not much of a good substitute for being there. And there are 7 management planning tools. This is a list of tools, and rather than take you through that in this presentation, I'm going to show you a different way to do this. I do believe there's good content in this presentation, but I'm going to show you something different. This is an article published a little while back in Quality Progress called Sticking Out the Storm, and it has to do with using some of these same planning tools that are in the PowerPoint presentation. The first one is what I refer to as a sticky storm. So instead of a typical brainstorming, which is one of the worst possible ways to get ideas from a group, I would suggest a sticky storm. And you start by individually brainstorming, one person brainstorm, and writing out all of your ideas. Then you go up, start putting these up on the board, just as a plastering sticky notes up there. As you go up there, you don't defend your ideas, you just put them up there. And as you look at other people's ideas, you may have more ideas. You write them down, you put them up there until basically you sort of run out of that. And you end up with this just big mass of ideas. This is actually what you're seeing in this article is an actual example. Then you, with your same group, you go up there and you try to group them into logical groups. Don't fight over it. So if you think one of them belongs in one category and somebody else believes it belongs somewhere else, write it down again and put it in both places. No big deal. So you end up with these groups where these particular ideas have an affinity for each other. They're similar to each other. This is called an affinity diagram. From here you can go to an interrelationship diagram. So with your affinity diagram, you start drawing lines and say this particular idea or task or process is related very clearly to another one. And then what we've done after we drew all these lines is basically looked at the ideas that had the most lines coming in or out of them and said, okay, maybe those are a little bit more important. We circled those. And then from there, we used a cause and effect diagram and plastered all of those ideas on the cause and effect diagram. Went through a couple of iterations. First went through here. We only had one sticky note on technology, and we had 3 sticky notes sort of left over with no home. And so said, okay, maybe technology is not the best category, and so instead of technology, we used a program. When we did a program, the 3 found a home, and then we moved, Excel was under technology, we moved it up under information, and we began to flesh it out, and we kept on going and looking at more ideas and ideas we had left out. And so this whole process, I refer to this as collectively as sticky storming, and we started with sort of really a nominal group technique versus brainstorming. And then we moved to affinity diagrams. We created an interrelationship diagram. Then we sort of backed up, took all of those ideas and put them on a cause and effect diagram, and then fleshed out the cause and effect diagram. This is a way that you can use your ideas to sort of kick off the planning process.